Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nadia Sobrati. I'm a personal branding specialist from CreateWealthWithNadiaSobrati.com. How is everyone doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. The weather is beautiful here in New York, and I'm sure in your part of the world, the weather is beautiful too. So today I want to talk to you all about storytelling and why you should be telling your story to build and create your personal brand. Hey, David, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Facebook is actually building my audience right now, but I'm going to get started. And I see I have a lot of people jumping on. So guys, today's topic, right? How to tell your story in a compelling way to inspire and captivate your audience to brand you. All right, guys? And you know, when it comes to creating your personal brand, hey, Terry, what's going on, my friend? When it comes to creating your personal brand, guys, telling your story is such a major component when it comes to building your brand. Yet so many people are not using storytelling, you know, when it comes to creating their personal brand, right? Let me see. Ooh, okay, I think it's good. Okay, guys, so when you're telling your story, you want to tell your story in a certain way where you're going to inspire and captivate your audience. You don't want to talk about, like, okay, let's say you're telling your story. No one wants to hear about how successful you are. No one wants to hear about how much money you're making when you're telling your story, right, guys? You want to tell your story in a way where you want to talk about your early years. You want to talk about your struggles. You want to talk about your breaking point, okay? You want to talk about your struggles. You want to talk about your breaking point. You want to talk about what led you here. What led you into network marketing or you know, these type of things, right, guys? So you want to talk about where you came from. Talk about your early years, right? Your early childhood. Maybe when you were a child. Hey, Nicole, what's up, beautiful? You can talk about when you were a child. Talk a little bit about your parents. Talk about your background, right? Talk about your siblings a little bit, okay, guys? Then you want to talk about your education. Talk a little bit about your background. Talk about where you came from. Talk about, you know, maybe what you majored in, right? Talk about what you did for work. What was your career? Talk about your life, right, guys? And then you want to talk about what was your breaking point, like how you ended up in network marketing or how you ended up in this becoming an online marketer, right, guys? And then you want to talk about, when you started getting results, how you felt when you made your first $100. You know, these are things you want to talk about. Okay, guys? So guess what, everyone? I'm going to tell you all my story. Hey, William, what's going on, my friend? Hey, Jazz, what's up, beautiful? Thank you for joining me. Okay, guys? So I'm going to tell you all my story. And, oh, by the way, guys, I've only been in this network marketing space, this online space, for a year and 8 months. Okay, it hasn't been 2 years yet. So I'm going to tell you my story, where I came from, how I ended up in network marketing, what was my breaking point when I started getting results, So this is what I'm going to talk to you all about today, okay? Hey, William, what's going on, my handsome friend? Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, Ali, what's going on, my friend? Wow, I have a lot of people on here. Okay, guys, so I'm going to tell you guys my story. And then, because, when it comes to telling your story, guys, it's such a major component when it comes to creating your personal brand, okay? Hey, Janelle, what's going on? Oh, my gosh, I have my cousin on here. Hey, Carrie. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get started, all right, guys? So I want to talk to you all about my early years. I was born in an island called Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, I'm from the Caribbean. It's a small island in the Caribbean, and when I was 13 years old, my parents got divorced. So, they got divorced and my mother moved to New York, right? And when I was 16 years old, she moved all 4 of us. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. So it's 4 of us. They're younger than me. I'm the oldest. So, she moved all 4 of us. And being a single mother, guys, my mother struggled. She struggled really hard to raise 4 children on her own. I mean, she struggled, but she was still able to support 4 of us, and she bought a house. Guys, in New York City, it's expensive, especially if you have children. So I had to get a job. So I got my first job when I was 16 years old. So I started working at Wendy's, and I started helping my mother out financially because it was tough. You know, it was tough raising four young children and being a single mother. And my father wasn't helping her financially. He lived in Trinidad, you know. So my mother did it on her own. So so when I was 19 years old, I decided I wanted to go to college, right, guys? So I went to college and I studied accounting and information systems. After that, I worked, you know, as a bartender. I did accounting here and there. Wasn't a lot of money. I made a lot more money bartending. So then I started working in a mortgage company. I was a loan officer for a mortgage company. So in 2008, the bubble burst. And, you know, I actually worked strictly on commissions. So I wasn't making money, guys. I wasn't making money. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I went back to bartending, right? This was in 2000. Yeah, around 2000. Anyway, I went back to bartending. And I bartended for a few months. And then I met this guy who became my fiance. So we were together for 9 years. And for that whole 9 years, guys, I did not work. I did not work. He's a business owner. I didn't have to work. So for the first 3 years, we traveled. You know, we traveled everywhere. I didn't have to work, you know, anything like that. But I was like, one day I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Like I felt like I was wasting my life away. Honestly, I wanted a career. You know, I wanted to work, you know, so I decided to go back to school because I've always had a thing for healthcare. So I went back to school, got a degree in health information technology. Then I went to another school. I got a degree in public health. Okay, guys, I became a medical case manager for a clinic in the Bronx. I was treating HIV patients and hepatitis C. Okay, and I did that for a while, but guess what? They cut funding. So at that point, I'm like, what am I going to do? So Guys, I must have applied to so many jobs. I've applied to jobs online. I went to all the staffing agencies in New York. No one would hire me. I even flew cross country, okay? I flew cross country to Cerner because they wanted people with high GPA. I graduated summa cum laude twice in 2 degrees. How much higher can that get, right? A 4.0 GPA. Guess what? I didn't get the job. So, you know, I'm like, what am I going to do? So I decided to go back to school. So I went back to school to study double masters in acupuncture and oriental medicine because this is what everyone says. Go back to school, get all these degrees, you're going to find your dream job. Well, guys, I got news for you. That did not happen in my case. Instead, it left me thousands of dollars in debt because of student loans. I don't have credit card bills or anything like that. But it left me in debt for student loans, right? Because I borrowed thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I was making, you know, barely just paying back the interest monthly, which was like about $400 or $500 a month. You know, so my loan wasn't going down. I was just paying the interest, right, guys, every month. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So at that time, my ex and I had broken up, right, after 9 years. But he was still supporting me financially, right? So, but I wanted to do it on my own because we would get into arguments here and there. And I knew it was a lot of money he was giving me monthly because I live in New York, guys. New York is very expensive, right? So we would fight here and there. And I thought, here and there. And so every month I would think, oh my God, he's going to cut me off financially. I haven't found a job. Guys, it was 3 years. I'm looking for a job and I could not find a job. All right. So I took a job at a department store. Anyway, I went back to school, studied double masters, acupuncture, oriental medicine. After all of that, I couldn't find a job, you know. So I took a job at the department store selling DirecTV, guys, for 3 weeks. I hated it. It was what, $10 an hour, $12.50 an hour, guys. It couldn't even pay for gas in my Mercedes. I was like, you know, I was making $60 a day because they wasn't even giving me all these hours. Sometimes I'll get like 5 hours, 6 hours, and that was like 3 days a week. You know, so I'm like, what am I going to do? So a friend of mine that's a judge in the Supreme Court, he's like, Nadia, you have all these degrees. You're highly educated. He goes, listen. He goes, why don't you become a certified court-appointed guardian and start your own healthcare consulting business? So guys, guess what? I did that. I became a certified court-appointed guardian. I started Vita Health Consulting Group. But that only lasted 8 months. And I didn't have that much experience. So it was difficult for me to get paid. So I went into like serious depression because at that point I'm like, what am I going to do? My ex is supporting me for 3 years. He's getting tired of spending this money every month, and he shouldn't have to be supporting me financially. I need to do something, right, guys? So I went into severe depression. And then one day I was on Facebook and I saw someone telling his story. So I contacted him that night, and guess what, guys? He introduced me to a training platform, okay? So we talked for about 3 hours that night. He introduced me to a training platform. Guys, I swear to God, I had no idea what was attraction marketing, what was network marketing, what was online marketing. I had no knowledge of anything that I'm doing now. I had no knowledge of anything that I'm doing now. So I went all in. I joined him that night. You know, he signed me up. I went all in. So for the first 4 to 5 or 6 months, I went into learning mode. I was building my audience. Yes, I was engaging with people. I was connecting with people, adding on to my friends list. But I wasn't recruiting anyone. Right, guys? But I knew, you know what? This is a learning experience, a learning curve for me, because, guys, I came from a healthcare background. No knowledge of any of this. Totally, like, you know. So I went into learning mode. And, you know, then I met a coach who had coached me like 6 months in between. So I learned a lot. I learned how to build funnels. I learned how to, you know, I learned how to create funnels and all of this stuff. I must have recruited like 3 people then, right? But then those 3 people dropped out. And, you know, even though I wasn't recruiting people, guys, I knew that it was going to be a learning curve, and I had to learn as much as I could. So Mark Lalone had just launched Twitter Lead Machine. Yeah, this was like about a year and 2 months ago. Mark Lalone had just launched Twitter Lead Machine, and one of my marketing buddy, Jazz, reached out to me, and she goes, hey, I have a free course. You want to take this free training? It was Twitter Lead Machine, the Twitter course. So I took the Twitter 101 course, and I started building the Twitter Lead Machine. And guys, a lot of people, I started selling a lot of the Twitter Lead Machine courses. That's when I first started making money. Yes, I started making money with Mark Lalone. Mark Lalone was the very first person I made money with, and I decided to follow him. But anyway, before that, so I met Mark Lalone through Jazz Kerr. She's right here. I met Mark Lalone about a year and 2 months ago. And boom, I started making money with Twitter Lead Machine. I started selling so many courses. I started making money. And I was like, wow. So this was like 6 months after. This was like 6 months after I started making money, you know. I mean, 6 months after I got into this space, I started making money. And I was like, wow. So, you know, I would follow Mark, you know, and I would watch all his webinars. And guys, I started learning a lot from Mark. I built a Twitter Lead Machine, started generating tons of leads, you know. And but yeah, this is how I started making money into this business. So I never really struggled, guys. I never struggled like some of the other leaders. I never struggled like some of the other marketers, because I started with a training platform. I went all in. I had no idea what I was doing, right? But anyway, since then, you know, I have ranked advanced 6 times. I recently ranked advanced in Branding University. We have not even launched yet. Mark Lalone and I created a Firestarter mentorship program where we had over 1,000 people who have applied to work with us. We created a course together, the Firestarter course, which is the 6 components of a successful lead generating video. And I've been on multiple. I've been on the leaderboard multiple times. I've earned leadership cruises and stuff like that, and all of this stuff. So guys, I came a long way. It's only a year and 8 months. So and a lot of this had to do with me telling my story and getting out there. Since then, guys, I've recruited so many people. I've coached over 150 people. Yeah, I've coached. So, you know, for me, this is where I'm at, you know. You have helped so many people, Nadia. I love your story. Thank you so much, Yolanda. But guys, this is my story, and everyone who is in my audience that have been following me for the time that I started this journey until now, they all know this is my story, because they've seen my results. They've seen me on the leaderboard. They've seen me work really hard, you know. But not once did I ever doubt myself. Not once did I ever say this is not working, even though I wasn't making money the first 6 months. Guys, I knew this was going to be a learning curve. I knew that I had to invest money. Yes, I invested money in coaching. I invested money in products. I invested a lot of money because I knew this is what I wanted, you know, and I knew I had to invest. But yes, guys, this is where I'm at right now. So I've came a long way in a short period of time. I've coached people who has been in this business for 20 years and didn't make a dime. Now they're making money. Now they're closing sales, you know. So this is my story. This is my story. But you know something, guys? I want to give you all a free training today on how to tell your story in a compelling way to motivate and captivate your audience. So I'm going to give all of you guys a training today, and I'm going to post the link above this video because I want you guys to see how to tell your story. And guys, you know what? When my coach told me, Nadia, you have to tell your story. Guys, you know what happened? I was like, oh my God, how am I going to tell my story? I felt like I was a loser. I felt like I was a loser because I couldn't find a job. Here I am, highly educated, going on tons and tons of interview, having to answer the questions to the interviewer. Why do I want this job? The reason why people want a job, guys, is because they cannot pay their bills. They have bills to pay. It's survival, you know. And then I would have to constantly go on these interviews and have these people ask me all these stupid questions, to be honest. So I made that, you know, it's like in my story, guys, it was a blessing in disguise that I couldn't find a job. Because now I found something that I love and I've gotten amazing results. And I love what I do. I have freedom. I'm helping so many people daily, you know. But this is my story. All right, guys. So do you guys have any questions for me? Hey, Yolanda, thank you so much. From zero to hero. Boom. And guys, we're launching Branding U University in August. Yeah. And yeah, we're launching in August. And a lot of this had to do with me telling my story. This is how Mark Lalone discovered me. This is how Mark Lalone discovered me. From me telling my story and all of this stuff. You know, and now, you know, I partnered up with him. As you all know, he's a 7-figure earner. And I've learned so much from him. So this is an exciting time for us, you know. But guys, when it comes to personal branding, it's so important for you to tell your story. This is how you're going to motivate and captivate your audience. And I just wanted to share that with you all. So do you guys have any questions for me? Do you guys have any questions for me? Well, thank you all so much for joining me. And I'm going to be posting the link above this video, guys. It's a free course. It's a free course on how to tell your story, how to write your story in a compelling way to inspire and captivate your audience when it comes to creating your personal brand. Okay, so I love each and every one of you, and thank you all so much for joining me, and I will talk to you later. You're welcome, Yolanda. I love you, Yolanda. I'll talk to you later, baby. Bye.